We are getting more used to seeing people with a disability on our screens, be it the inspiration of the Paralympians or the glitz and glamour of Strictly Come Dancing. Yet, according to a new report from Leonard, Cheshire and United Response, numbers of disability hate crime have more than doubled in the last 4 years.
These are tomatillos.
I met Anne back in February for a report on the cost of living crisis. But what shocked me the most was her experiences of hate crime. So I've come back to find out more.
I've been assaulted, I've been groped, I've been burgled. But being spat on is really the most hateful. It was insidious, that's the word I was looking for. It crept up. I would be in the garden actually weeding or pruning or something, and these young people would chuck stuff at me. They would ride two up on a push bike where the one in front was standing up and the pedals, and the one behind was the one who threw the bricks.
How long did it go on for?
It was a few years before I got the police involved because I didn't think it would be taken seriously. But they would have had to camp in the front of the house to keep us safe, or walk my dog with me, or walk into town with me. And it moved me from being a confident, loud, outgoing person to somebody who actually didn't leave the house very often. Mind your paws, chicken. I did find out that the previous tenant from our house had left because she had been abused because of her disability. Go on. So then we had been moved in with no work being done in the area at all to manage what was clearly a crisis situation. It's left a mark.
Anne's story sadly reflects the new report released today. It found that over half the reported incidents involved an element of violence. Can you tell me about the report?
United Response and Leonard, Cheshire have been working together for the past few years to try and understand why rates of disability hate crime are rising. And we found that in the last year, there's been 11,224 instances of hate crime reports. We'd like to see central government commit funding so that every police force in England and Wales can have a disability liaison officer.
Numbers of incidents are at a record high, yet only 1% result in criminal charges.
We know that the majority of people don't report what happens to them, so we know that even though those numbers are rising, the bigger picture is way worse. It's all of our problem, and that means we've all got a responsibility to come together and try and tackle it.
Hi. Solving this problem requires the whole community to be on board. So, I've come to Bradford to meet a group of people who are working hard to do just that.
We've been training a lot of police officers and other authorities trying to tackle hate crime.
What do you think is the key to preventing disability hate crime?
There's a massive education barrier that we need to break around hate crime.
Hi.
Hiya. Welcome.
This group meet on a regular basis and provide training based on their own experiences. So who here has experienced hate crime because of their disability?
I was once in town and there were these two young lads and they was making fun of my friend because she's blind and can't see.
I trusted someone who worked with people with learning disabilities, and they took people's money. They pretended that they were your friend and all, and I got to like them.
How do you support each other when these things happen?
You can take care of the person and you can tell the police about this incident that's happened.
The essential work going on here is building trust between disabled people and the wider community. But the experience of a Paralympian, Will Perry, shows there is still a long way to go. I've joined him at the Portchester Leisure Centre in London.
Like myself and other people with dwarfism, unfortunately we've been laughed at, we've been stared at, we've been filmed, photographed. I've heard of stories of people being tipped upside down, being shaken, being physically abused.
How was it representing your country at the Paralympics 1 minute and then being targeted in public the next?
Representing Great Britain at Tokyo remains to be one of my biggest honours in my life. I don't think much can top that. And to go from such a high to being laughed and abused by the very people that you've just represented on one of the biggest world stages, it's pretty upsetting.
What do you think can be done to stop disability hate crime?
It can't just be someone on the news explaining their story. I think it needs to be more broad than that. But I believe education is the best way forward.
Disability is becoming more visible in popular culture. So why is it we still face discrimination in our daily lives? This is Ruben Reuter reporting for Channel 4 News.